Hello. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another motivational video of building a house here in Ghana. If it is your first time hearing this voice, my name is Gigo, and today we are back at the FJ project, right? Which is one of our subscribers, a young guy living in the UK who wants to do something back home. He wants to start small and grow big, right? So he approached us, and then we were able to give him this half plot, which is in the 1 acre land that we put out this year, for sale, right? So in our previous video, we did the fence wall for him, right? And then we started with the documentation. Everything went well. So he started with his foundation. He is using his own team, right? So he has his own team that he's using for the project. And Mr. Kwete is doing some of the supplies, right, with this project. So if you are using Gigo Product, or if you buy land from Gigo Production Group, it doesn't mean that you should always use us for your project, right? But we can come together and work as a team for sure. You can decide to use some of our builders for your projects. Mr. Kwete also sells materials, so you can decide to buy materials from us. Use your own team because Mr. Kwete is close by. But if you have your own suppliers and you have your own team, we are not stopping you from building. But we should have some agreement, right, when it comes to some of, we still have to kind of work together. We have to just find a way to work together. You cannot buy everything from us, but sometimes you can buy your blocks or sand. We just also want to be part of the progress, right? To check, double check, and cross check to make sure that everything is moving on smoothly, because like it is an acre of land that we put out there, so you will be having neighbors, right? So we also have to protect the neighbors as well by making sure that things are going on well. And if we are part of the project, we are able to control and make sure that there is peace on the land, right? So talking about peace, this owner is building with no land guards coming around, to disturb. Immediately they come, they mention Mr. Kwete's name, they know who he is, so they just back off. Or they have to go and see Mr. Kwete personal to do their own things, right? So this video, as I said earlier on, it is a motivation video for the young ones out there to know that it is possible to do something back home. You don't necessarily have to start big, right? You can start small, learn through the process. If something goes wrong, you don't lose so much money, and then you come back big and stronger. But with Gigo Production Group, we know what we are doing, so there is no need to be afraid or get panic with your investment, right? We are here to change the narrative of people sending money back home and not able to get what they want, right? And buying land is like the first investment, right, when it comes to real estate. And if something goes wrong, right, buying your land, which discourage people from doing something back home, then they have bad impression of Ghana, says a whole lot of things about Ghana. We want to change that. We want to give that confidence to people that it is possible and you can get it done. Yeah, so this is the progress, for FJ project here in Pampram. This land is not that far from the sea, right? I think it's, like I said, it's 5 minutes drive, so it's not a direct sea land. Also, the same time, it's not far from the town itself, which is Pampram. Sometimes people do say Pampram, but it's not actually in the Pampram township. This land is in the Pampram township itself, which is something people don't get, right? It's difficult now to get an acre in the Pampram township, right? It's either it's outside of the town, right? But then because it is in the same district, which is the Ningo Pampram district, they only mention about the Pampram or they will say Ningo. But we have Chopoli, we have a whole lot of towns, but they are all in the district. So when I say it is Pram Pram, I mean it is in the Pram Pram township. And I think it is time to make a drive-through, video, right, to show you all the towns that are in the Ningo Pampram district. Because sometimes we do have clients that come and say they have their land in Pampram or they have their land in Ningo. And when they take you there, I mean, you are going to Mobole, you are going to Chopoli, even sometimes all the way to Shire Hills area. But I mean, I understand it is a market strategy. That's how people make their money. Try to sell you land, and then I mean they tell you it is in Pam Pam because they want more money for it. But at the end, it's not actually in Pam Pam. So I mean, I have to make a video to educate people about it, right? So I mean, you can see Shire Hills from here, right? So the hill you see there is all Shire Hills, and that is Dowinya for you. So, I mean, the location of this land is a perfect location. That is Dowinya for you, right? We have Madam Fatima's project not far from here. Also, Madam Fatima's project is close by. If you want to know more about it, you go to my playlist. You will find more details about Madam Fatima's project, right? So, if you are building in or you have a land in Ningo Pampram, right? If you look at your site plan and it says Ningo Pampram district, meaning you need to get your permit at the council, right? And I mean, we have culture, right? So culture is the guy who, works on our land. Building permits, right? He works at the council. I mean, this is a direct contact. So if your site plan states Ningo Pampram district, meaning you need to get your permit, right? You don't have to wait for them to come and write stop work, or they have to come and seize the materials, the task force and all that. So if you need a contact, right, if you need to get your permit done, Culture is the guy. You can get in touch with Culture, I mean, directly. If you have any questions, I mean, if you have any trouble with your land, or if you have any trouble with your permit, right, I mean, if you're having any difficulties, you can get in touch with Culture, and I mean, he will advise you on it. I mean, these are some of the services that we provide as Giggle Production Group. And I mean, if you kind of buy land with us and you are dealing with us, some of these things you don't experience it, right? Because we have the men, we have the people on board. So it may seem that you are dealing with one person who is, the engineer, or you are dealing with Giggle, but we work. I mean, we have a lot of grounds work that we do, and Madam Fatima can testify. I mean, Mr. FJ can testify. No langars. They are building peacefully, right? But it doesn't mean that the langars doesn't show up or those people doesn't show up. But I mean, we have a way of dealing with them that doesn't involve our clients. So these are some of the plans that you get from Giggle Production Group. So for those that have been following us for the past, I think, 3 years now, I mean, I've been talking about acres of land that we've been working on. And, God being so good, I mean, the registration is completed. So, I mean, we have vast land, in acres going for sale now. It is registered, so I can talk about it. I wasn't, coming up with a lot of details because I wanted the land to be registered before selling it or before putting it out here. But it is ready now. I mean, it is fully registered. So, those that have come to buy in acres, we have companies that have, they've bought theirs and all that. But I'm also looking at creating a community, right? Under the Giggle Production Group. So we have some of the acres that we want to use for residential, right? If you want to buy for commercial also, we do have that part also, right? It's a vast land, and it is going fast, right? It is going fast, but this especially, I want Giggle Production Group to also have its own community. This is an opportunity for me to also create something, for myself. So I'm looking for, individuals, group of people like what you just saw with the 1 acre that I put out there. We have individual coming to buy. We are looking at people who wants to do something in the future. So if you are interested, I mean, I will start with maybe the first 20 people, people that are willing to at least do a foundation, right? Let's come together, let's develop this place together. Wish I can do it alone, but I mean, I would need support from other people. So if you purchase one plot here, we are looking at maybe, putting a draft wall like what you saw in the previous scene in the beginning, just a draft wall to demarcate whose land is this, and we can start growing something on it. And then, I mean, it will be best that at the end of the year, at least you have a foundation there so that, we start developing the place. It has electricity around. You can see the electricity, the high tension poles. We already have the electricity there. And I mean, water is close by. So, I mean, with team effort, we can get water to the site. It is in between Chopoli and Old Ningo, right? That's the location. It's, I mean, 10 minutes drive from Chopoli itself, and it is I would say another 10 minutes drive to the sea, right? I mean, you can look at their shirts, you can see the wind blowing on their shirts. That tells you the sea is not that far. So if you are dreaming on having a project which is, I mean, like 10 minutes from the sea, and also 10 minutes to the highway, which is the Temaflao, I mean, this is a top location for you. Wish I have the time to tell you what is happening here. I've made series of videos explaining it. And I mean, for those that travel along the Dowenya Pram Road, the road expansion and all that. I mean, we've also sold for, I mean, real estate companies, right? We've sold acres for real estate companies. So, I mean, the prices may change. I mean, we are not going to sell it cheaper than what the real estate companies that have bought from us, right? If they put their price, we have to kind of follow the trend. So as it stands now, we are selling it for 45,000 Ghana cedis, right? That's as it stands now, which is in May 2025. But I mean, we know some real estate companies that have bought about 4 of them, and we have to follow their lead. If they put out a price, we also have to, update, right? So, I mean, if you are interested, you want to buy with us, I mean, this is the time to buy. You can buy for your schools, for hotels, for anything that you want to use it for. It is open, right? So then I think this brings us to the end of today's episode. I really do appreciate your time spent here on the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next episode. Let's get to it.